Welcome to Chiustream. Hope you guys are pumped, ready to go, ready to do some drawing with me. For those of you that have never been on the stream before, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna draw a drawing on this little card right here, and I'm gonna give it out to somebody out there in the world. So how it works is you could just post hashtag Chiustream and a link to this broadcast on your Facebook or Twitter, or actually it's best to go to bit.do/May1st-Chiustream. That'll lead you to a Facebook page where you can write questions down, and I'll be happy to answer as many as I can. Share that link and you'll have a chance to win this this drawing that I'm going to do here. And of course, if you have any questions, you can post it on this link right here, and that's where I'll be going to read off questions and answer them the best I can. Okay, so why don't we start off with a little roll call like we usually do. You'd be surprised on how many people are out there from so many different places. So if you let me know where you're from, I'll give you a shout out. And this way, everybody will know that we're not alone out there. There's all sorts of people out there just like us. I see Italy, Fort Lauderdale, Sweden, Germany, Norway, Brazil, Denmark. Wow, it's going really, really quick. France, of course. France is always up here. Uruguay, right on, Uruguay. Germany, Toronto, Ecuador. Toronto again, San Diego. Right on, GG. Great. Italian from London, Malaysia, Savannah, New Hampshire. Awesome. So, today I want to, well, let's just start off with this. I've been saying for the last couple weeks about this contest that Schoolism is sponsoring, that Sketchbook Express is holding. It's like Sketchbook Pro, except it's the free version. Grand prize, well, you can win $2,000 worth of Schoolism classes. We're happy to sponsor and help support their event. Sketchbook has always been very kind to us with our workshops and all sorts of things that we want to do, so had to jump on and contribute to their contest. Also, there's a good chance that you'll get a review from me. Your painting or whatever, I'll give it a professional critique. There's an age limit to this contest. I think it's 24, 25. You have to take a look. You can find out more details on schoolism.com, the front page. You could see it very easily. The other thing is, some of you know I opened a painting creatures class recently. I opened one class for registration. It sold out in like an hour or so, couple hours. So people have been asking, when am I going to open up a second class? Well, I'm going to open up a second class. Registration starts today at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time, which is in like about 2 hours. Seats are limited. Okay, and that class will start on September 25th, but registration starts today, so get your finger on the trigger. That's the best advice I could give you as to how to get into this class. Painting creatures has always been a passion of mine, so this class is going to be a fun one. Okay, so I want to go to your questions first. Danielle asks some advice on dealing with clients. What are the things that makes an an artist professional in dealing with clients, what would be your top list of do's and don'ts? For example, how bad would it be to work below your price when if you don't, that means that you don't have any work at all? I've had one client seemingly pay more if I ask for it, and then there's others where I exceed their budget. You know, it really depends on how badly do you need the job. How badly do you want the job? And that'll tell you how much to quote generally. If you don't need the job too badly, then you can afford to give them a higher price, because if they don't take it, well, that's okay, you didn't really need it. But there's situations where it's like, okay, for example, sometimes on a film, you know, I'll get asked, you know, what's your rate? And I'll say, you know, I only want this much. And then actually they say, are you sure you don't want to ask for a bit more? I go, no, because I'd rather do a little less. You know, I don't want to do 12 hours a day. And sometimes it's like I don't even want to do 8 hours a day. I want to do 4 hours a day. Right? So this way I ask for less, I do less, but it's, you know, more than worth it for what they are giving me or whatever. You know, everybody wins. And a lot of times, you know, people like Kay and I, we have a lot of things to do. We want to do a bunch of things. So a lot of times we might just say, we'll work on the film together as one character designer. You know, so we both do half days, which is great, because if people need us, if they really, really need us, well, we're available for them, you know, to do a lot more. But, you know, sometimes when you're dealing with price, you gotta remember, or you gotta kind of weigh it out with the freedom that you might be missing out on. You know, people might be able to give you a great price to do work, but afternoon naps are priceless, in my opinion, sometimes. So yeah, it depends on the kind of mood you're in. Okay, so being professional, I think being professional just means to be responsible, to instill trust in your client and pull through, you know, deliver on what you promise in a timely manner, in you know, in a more than expected way, and hopefully a little bit above and beyond what they expected. Something that isn't professional is when you're doing great, you can do great work, and then you start taking on too much work. And because of that, your output suffers. Your paintings, your designs, they all suffer. That to me is very unprofessional. And you know, recently I was asked to work on another film while I'm still on this current film. It was a great job, it's a great film, but I had to say no. You know, because I felt like if I took that on as well, I wouldn't be able to give my top potential. Right? So what I did was, you know, the producer, she was talking about the film, and then asked me what I thought about it. And I told her, you know what, oh geez, I would love to work on this film. I would love to. However, I'm gonna have to say no, because I feel like if I take on this other project while I'm doing all these things that I'm doing right now, I wouldn't be able to give you something that I'd be proud of. And her response was she really appreciated that. She really appreciated that and said, you know, she'd call me in a couple months. Right? And that to me is being professional. It's scary sometimes because, you know, you're doing freelance and you don't know when the next job is coming from. You don't know if that person's going to call you back. But when you find somebody that you can trust, you know, an artist that you can trust, you go back. You know, when you find an artist that you feel is reliable, you'll go back. So don't be afraid to, you know, be very honest with your clients, and don't just say no, you can't do it, but, you know, let them know why, and have a good reason for it. Is it okay to increase prices every now and then? Yes. I would say, especially if other people are increasing their prices, it's good to increase your prices every once in a while. Now, before we get to any other questions, I want to bring up something that I was just like, man, everybody should know this. This is Facebook fan pages. Okay, Facebook fan pages. Well, you know that you ever see somebody with like 100,000 likes on their Facebook fan page, yet, you know, something like on Instagram they might have just a few hundred or maybe like 1,000 something, and it just doesn't match up, right? The Facebook likes are like 100 times more than their followers on something else like Instagram. That's because Facebook has a lot of people that go into Facebook and just try to like everything, you know, like, well, like farms or whatever you want to call them, right? Places where people will employ people to like things all the time, and you can go there and you can say, you know, give me a bunch of likes for X amount of dollars. Well, see, the thing that's kind of screwed up with that is that if you pay for a whole bunch of likes, now you have all these people that liked your stuff, and when you put a new post, none of those people that liked it are engaging with it, right? They're not commenting on it. They're not doing anything with that because those were paid likes. Well, what happens is Facebook thinks, oh, the things that you put on your page, they're not relevant to people, not even to the people that liked it. So it'll have less of a value, you know, when you're going through your news feed. Less people will see it. Now, if you pay for likes, right, if you promote your fan page, what happens is all those places, all those accounts that are fake, that are just there to like stuff when you pay them, well, they're also just liking anything that they can find, right? They're trying to like as many things as they can find so that they will seem more real to the Facebook site. So that means that you're going to get all these people that are going to like your page. Once your page is kind of known, you're going to get all these people that don't really care about your page that are going to start liking your page. And if you're paying for a promotion, well, they start gobbling up all those little clicks that you have to pay for. I was discussing this with some people online, and a friend of mine was like saying, yeah, he has a band, and he put out a promotion for his record, and then all these people from Mexico City started liking his page. And then he was wondering, oh, that's kind of interesting, that's kind of cool, I wonder how that happened. Okay, awesome. They put out the album. How many sales did they have in Mexico City? 0. See, that's the scam. So all of a sudden he paid for all these likes on Facebook just to have a bunch of people in Mexico City that aren't even interested in his art, you know, gobbling up all his ad budget, right? So I want to mention that because, you know, you gotta look out. Recently I did a Facebook ad thing too for Schoolism, for our spring sale that ended, and we got all these hits from Brazil. Now we have a big population, you know, on Schoolism from Brazil, but it didn't add up to the sales that we had. I don't feel like those Brazilian hits were actually, you know, real people interested in Schoolism. I think they're just a click farm. So be careful. Be careful. I wanted to mention that. Danny, how do you deal with artist block or losing motivation? You know, sometimes you just gotta, it's like, this is how I kind of feel. Okay, so there's, you know, there's a person, this is the body, right? And then you have all these different parts in your body, muscles, organs, all these different parts that you can move, that you can kind of get active. And then there's your mind or your spirit or whatever it is, that is the thing that can control all these different parts. It doesn't control them all the time. A lot of times they just kind of react by themselves, like sometimes you don't mean to get angry, but you just get angry because you're kind of going on autopilot and you're not thinking with your mind as much. So what I'm saying is that your mind can tell your brain, shut up, let's do this, let's keep painting, let's keep drawing. You know, Nathan Fowkes said one time, he was like, what do professional artists do about artist block? Nothing. They don't have artist block because they just keep going. They go through the steps, they go through their routine, they go through the motions of just painting, drawing, or whatever. Danny, you know what? I feel you though. I feel like I've been there. But what I found was, if you just say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna draw for an hour, that usually takes care of things. Just keep going. Draw for an hour, draw things that are familiar to you, and you'll feel better as you're going through the motions, and you'll get more and more into it. Okay, and then you'll beat your artist block. As a self-employed illustrator, what marketing tools, techniques can you recommend? Nice. I'm always so interested in marketing tools, techniques, things like that. it depends on for where. So if it's on Instagram, if it's on Twitter, Facebook, things like that, those things are very instant, right? You want to make sure that you put things down that makes the viewer feel like, yeah, oh yeah, this is happening right now. A lot of times when you do that, you'll get a better response, you'll get a better result. Another thing is, you could ask a question. When you ask questions, then people tend to respond more. Like, how many trees do you see in this painting? How many gremlins do you see in the background? What's a good tagline for this? I don't really use that one, but it definitely seems to work pretty good. When you put numbers onto things, you know what the top 2 most important things that I found with every single super successful artist? When you say something like that, people are going to be like, well, what is it? They would click on it. They'll engage a lot easier. Find out what your core audience is, or who your core audience is. I like to paint all sorts of things. I like to draw all sorts of things. I know who my core audience is. My core audience loves cute creatures. That's good because I like drawing cute creatures too, so it works out well. Find out what your core audience really gravitates towards. Really keep an eye on how much engagement do you have in different images that you do. I think that's a huge part about, how to market better. Okay. Let's see. My friend and I are starting to exhibit at conventions pretty regularly. I was wondering if you had any suggestions on how to make the most of the hundreds of short interactions you have with fans and other artists in an environment like that. How to make the most of it. Talk to people, talk to as many people as you can, and something that I used to do was I would say to my assistant, I would say, okay, so the goal of today is to get 50 no's. Or, no, I think we just said 15 no's, right? 15 no's before lunch. So what does that mean? That means I'm going to engage as many people as I can, and what I'm looking for is trying to, engage everybody, but hitting up as many people to the point where I'm going to get 15 no's, 15 rejections before lunch. If I get 15 rejections and I'm doing a good job, then that means that I've engaged, hundreds of people just to get those 15 no's. People tend to just stay at their tables too much. Sit down with their DS in their hands, or painting or drawing something, not really looking up, not really engaging the people, all these people that are just passing right by you. If you ever see me at a convention, you want to talk with me, don't be shy. Don't let it, pass you by. Just come and, chat it up. And when you do, try to think of something a little bit more engaging to ask. If you just say things like, oh, I really like your art, I'm a big fan, those are all great as well, but that's what a lot of the artists hear, which is still, you know, it's very nice and everything, but human nature, you know, there's no contrast. If everybody's saying that, then you're much more likely to forget who that person was. Something that always gets me is when people come up, they tell me that they're from super far away. If they're from some exotic place, then for sure I would, you know, remember them a lot easier. Also, if they say something specific about, you know, something that you can only find out from like following me on Twitter or Instagram or something like that, or the stream, even better. You know, if you say like, you know, I was listening to the Chiustream one time and you were saying this and this, and I was doing this and this is what happened because of this and this. You know, that's a lot more interesting, and you'll be able to engage people a lot easier. The other thing is, if you really want to engage people, think about what you can do for them. Think about what you can offer them that they might be interested in. Now, as you're offering them whatever it is that you're offering them, there might also be very easily mutual benefits for you. You know, that's kind of like the law of nature. You give something, you're going to receive something. But if you kind of just concentrate on what you could do for them, you know, people will be a lot more engaged, a lot easier. Cool. There we go. Let's see. Next one here. Hal says, I've uploaded your previous streams on YouTube and added timestamps to each individual question in the description together with a short summary of your answers. Is it okay if I keep doing this? Wow, right on. Sure, why not? I started uploading them as well, but I didn't put, you know, I didn't go to all that, through all that work to you know, write down the questions and all this stuff. So right on Hal. Let me see if I could find where what your address is on YouTube. Well, your username is commercial space art. So yeah, if you want to check out the old streams, you can check them out right there. Right on. Matt asks, what are you learning at the moment? What wall are you trying to break through? What am I trying to learn at the moment? I'm trying to get back into drawing, you know, creating art with lines. As a painter, you stop looking at lines as much, and you start, you know, concentrating much more on shapes, tones, lighting. So that's what I've been working on. Right now things are pretty darn busy, so that's all I can really handle at the moment. But hopefully after this this current project, once this film's done, then I can you know, get into a lot more learning, because I really want to get back into taking some new classes and things like that. It's very hard to catch up to a person that keeps learning, right guys? So as long as we keep learning, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before people notice and give you those jobs, and give you that recognition or whatever it is that you seek. Okay. Let's see here. I'm just gonna refresh the page. Okay. Hey Bobby, how do you plan your daily schedule in general? Not only during the tough working days, but every day. Actually that's a pretty complex question, because I have a pretty elaborate scheduling thing, because I have so many different kind of projects. But here's something that will help you. Everything that what I do is I have Google Drive, right? I'll have Google Drive and I'll put it on my phone. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Right, so I'll have an app here, Google Drive, and that will lead me to my my to-do list. I'm not sure if I can show you my to-do list. There might be things on there that I can't show. Just because it talks about certain projects and things. But, well, you won't be able to see this anyways. You just see the different colors here. You can see that some things are in green, some things are in red, some things are in pink, some things are in light green. Okay? So every day I will, at the end of my day, I'll look at what's important and highlight it light pink. Okay? The ones that are in white, I don't do until all the things that are in pink are done. Right? And if I miss out on any of these pink things, then at the end of the day I make it more pink, darker pink. Right? Until they become red. Red is emergency, needs to be done today. A lot of times when you're doing a lot of things, you end up just, you get more and more red things. So today I have to finish this, I have to finish these two things, which is fine. Then when I'm complete something, when I'm done something, then I highlight them green. And end of the day, I wipe them out, erase them, and any of the pink stuff, I make it more red. That way you get about 6 days before things get bloody, right? And when they are blood red, you can't help but to be a little freaked out. And the only way to get rid of it is to finish it, to do that step. Okay, let's see what else is on here. But, what else do I do in general? Like, Leonardo, you were asking about the schedule in general, right? Well, that list actually has personal things on there as well. Like today, I'm having lunch with my 96-year-old grandma, and that's on my list. Right? And if you put everything that you need to remember down on a list that you can really trust, then all of a sudden the pressure that you have of doing a million different things just melts away. You don't have to worry about forgetting things. But that's only if you really, really are strict with your schedule. But it totally works. And you'll be able to do way more stuff, actually. Something I wanted to mention, though, is to rethink everything all the time. You know, if you find like you don't have enough time because you're doing this and that and it's just taking up way too much of your time, constantly rethink it. Think about everything that you're doing. Why am I doing this? Why do I need to do this? Is there a better way? If you just take instructions and do instructions without rethinking them all the time, then you have zero chance of evolving, right? You have zero chance of making things, you know, doing things differently and hopefully better, right? If you just listen to instructions and you just do the instructions, I'm not saying not to follow instructions. I'm saying get the instructions, think about it, think about if there's any other better way, and then if there isn't, then just do it the way, you know, you were told to get it done. That's all. When you're constantly thinking, you know, is there a better way? Is there a better way? Why am I doing it this way? Could I do it any other way? What you're doing is you're changing things. When things change, when they evolve, right, that's when the biggest successes happen. Like when things change and all of a sudden you have light bulbs. And you don't have to use kerosene lamps anymore. Huge leap in evolution. The biggest successes create evolution. But then evolution comes from breaking rules. You can't have evolution if you just stick to every single, you know, all the rules. Those rules have been written down by other people that already follow those rules. Do it that way. There's much less chance for growth. Right? If everybody always draws characters in this way, why can't you try and do them in this way, right? And so on and so forth. Really evolve things. And be different. Think differently, right? I see Mika Madden, Mara, on there saying that she remembers my grandma. Mika, she stayed with us at the Imaginism house for 30 days. And sometimes we have lunch with all of them and my grandma. Family's always been very important to me. Let's see here. What else we got? So, now if you have any questions, you could go to bit.do/May1st-Chiustream, and you can write your questions there. Okay? So, can a horror illustrator or animator change his style into something more family-friendly? Does a history of horror art affect one's future reputation? I don't think so. It depends how horrific, I think. But definitely don't have the same thing in the same portfolio. Or like both things in the same portfolio, right? Have a portfolio for horror stuff if that's what you're interested in. And then a separate portfolio for children's stuff, if that's what you're interested in. It definitely, it definitely conflicts if they're both in the same portfolio. Like, I like drawing creepy things, but they're not horrific, so I'm not sure how horror you're talking about. I do notice when I put some creepier stuff, you know, kind of darker stuff on my social media, that I'll lose some followers. You know, I'll gain some followers as well, but I'll lose followers when I put things that are kind of scary. So it's a fine line. You know, you could just start a new alias just for your children's stuff. That could be a good possibility too. Okay. Wow, time goes by so fast. There's only about 18 minutes left. Hal writes a second question. Are there any languages that might be worth learning in order to get more jobs? Or is English enough and learning others is not worth the time? Knowing other languages is definitely worth the time. You know, Chinese, I think that's going to be very important in the future, just because China is obviously super powerful right now, and they're starting to really put a lot of money into films and, you know, games and things that involve art. So yeah, I guess I would recommend learning Chinese if you can. However, I saw on the internet the other day on Vsauce on YouTube, or no, it wasn't a Vsauce. There's some other thing like that, and it was just saying things to expect within our lifetime. And one of the things to expect is to have kind of like the Babelfish from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where it'll be like instant translation, right? So somebody speaks Italian to you, and you hear an instant translation with some sort of device in your head. I don't know. So if that happens, then you don't have to learn any languages, because you'll know them all with your device. Can't wait for that. I can't wait for that and self-driving cars. Okay. Some little claws on them. You know, the other thing I wanted to mention was I was trying to break down what are kind of like the essential things that an artist or a freelance, you know, somebody that's independent should have. And I kind of broke it down into, or focused on, the idea of opportunities. So I think the first step is you know, being able to identify opportunities. Being able to identify opportunities around you, or, you know, within your internet reach, things like that. That's the first step. Right? The second step is how to change opportunities to make them better. For example, Sketchbook Pro, you know, they sponsor a lot of our stuff. But how did that happen? How did that start? Well, I was invited to Autodesk to kind of like a get-together of artists in Toronto, right? I took that little opportunity and I said, oh, do you want me to speak? I could do a little talk about what I do and things like that. And then that turned into, well, I also, you know, speak all around the world in all sorts of different countries and cities, places, and so on and so forth. Would you like to sponsor me? Right? So it's taking one opportunity to go and meet all these cool artists that they invited into you know, me speaking at the event, into me getting sponsored to speak at all sorts of other events. I know this doesn't have to do with drawing, painting, but it does. These are the things that nobody ever taught me. I never learned it in school. Just through hard knocks, right? Like just living, doing my thing, trying to do a good job and have a good career through experience. You know, lastly, if you can already identify the opportunities that you have, some are not, you know, super easy to identify. Some are a bit hidden. But if you can identify them, and you've learned how to change an opportunity to make it even better, the third level, the top level, is how to make opportunities, making opportunities from nothing. Okay, so first one is being able to identify an opportunity. Second is to be able to change an opportunity that already exists. And the third is to create opportunities from nothing. Now, what's an example of that? Okay, well, identifying opportunities. Perhaps that was going to conventions. That was conventions for us, art conventions, comic conventions, right? So then we identified the opportunities by looking up all the different, you know, comic conventions on the internet, identifying opportunities. We went to those things. We went to a lot of them. At one point we went to like 14, we were going to like 14 a year. And then there, we take that opportunity and make it better by talking to people, interacting, really, you know, putting ourselves out there. Then making opportunities. Well, making opportunities came from, a good example of that is we stopped doing so many conventions. We only go to like 2 or 3 comic conventions a year now instead of 14. But instead, we create our own opportunities. We create workshops so that we can go to any city we want in the world. Wherever we are interested in, we can set up a workshop there and create a great excuse to go there. Making opportunities. That's just one example, you know. Another good example is the whole entire idea of schoolism. Because I live in Toronto, Canada. I wanted to learn from Steven Silver, right? I wanted to learn from all these different amazing artists, Jason Seiler and Alex Wu and all these people, but I live in Toronto. So I created schoolism. And schoolism gives me the opportunity to learn from all these people from the comfort of my own home in Toronto. Right? Creating opportunities. Hope that makes sense. Leonardo asks in the chat, will I be going to Florence again? Yes, for sure. We totally want to go back to Florence. Definitely planning on coming back to Florence. Gotta see my buddy Mika Mara, Mika Madden down there as well as you know, we have like a whole family over there of people that we love hanging out with. All the Nemo crew. Yeah, so definitely looking forward to coming back to Florence. Let's see, what do I want to do with this nose here? But yeah, if you do have questions, it's best if you go to bit.do/May1st -Chiustream. That way I don't have to search through the chat. Sometimes it starts going pretty quickly. You know, big shout out to all the former in-house workshop students. We miss you guys. It's always great to see, you know, everybody on the chat and everything. Still feel somewhat connected that way, at least. It's great. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, is there anywhere else that you guys would want me to go? Anywhere else that I haven't gone to yet? Yi Chong writes, will you be writing more books in the future? I'm actually writing one right now, but it's really just for myself. I call it Game Changer. You know, like it's totally all about taking a little thing like, you know, the skill to do some art and changing the game, changing everything so that you're traveling all over the place, you're doing well, you know, you have all these opportunities, you're changing the game. It's all those things that I was saying before about opportunities, creating opportunities, things like that. Germany, Ecuador, Colombia, New York, right on. Bunch of good suggestions here. Amsterdam, right on. Belgium, Denmark, Malaysia, Berlin. I would love to go to Berlin. See Emily on there. Gonna see Emily when we go to London. What's up, Em? Gabriella. Hope to see you in Brazil. See, it's so, like, I feel so I feel really blessed and honored to know so many, you know, and have so many friends, you know, like all over the world. But it does suck that we don't have some sort of like transportation or transporting kind of door where you can just open it up and all of a sudden I'm in Florence again, or back in Paris, or whatever. But I guess, you know, it just makes the trip even more worth it when you have to put in the hours to get there. Yeah, so there's a bunch of places I would love to go. London is going to be awesome, by the way. Master Chill, I see you up there. Theory. So looking forward to that. Let me just look to see if there's any more questions here. Toby says the Google Glass can do the Babelfish thing already. But is it that accurate though, really? Like, I'm talking about something where it's just talking. It's almost like just talking with somebody, you know, in a different language. Like if I was conducting a workshop in Japan and nobody speaks English, can they use this thing and understand everything I'm saying? Greg Simon. Greg asks, what tips would you have for a student to get the most out of an art school? Try to help everybody. Try to be as helpful as you can without jeopardizing your own work. Don't compare yourself to other people. It's not like you're better than them or you're worse than them, but compare yourself to yourself. And always look for that improvement of beating your last level, right? And don't put too much emphasis, you know, don't put too much pressure on, you know, how well you do when you get out of school. Because school is just, it's just not even the beginning. It's preparing you for the beginning. So it's okay if you get out of school and you might not have a job just yet. That's okay. And the main thing is when you get the right job offer, then you take that. But you don't take the wrong job offers. You don't take jobs that you don't want to do. In school, I had some classes. I had one class that I completely forgot about. I went there once, and then I forgot I even had the class until like months later, until Christmas. Wasn't a good idea. Almost failed. But then there are other classes, like life drawing, where I didn't just go to every class. I went to every class, not even my own classes. You know, like I went to all of my own classes, and then I'd go into other people's classes. And I was, you know, doing life drawing, going to other people's classes, you know, 5 times a week kind of thing. The things that you really care about, don't let them suffer. Right? Just dive right in there and get obsessed about it. That's what I'd say. And don't worry about style. That's another thing. Search for knowledge. Search for knowledge and your style will emerge. And it'll be a much stronger style than you ever would have imagined. Okay, so it looks like our time is just about up here. So why don't we pick a winner for this little drawing here. Okay, so let me just refresh the page a little. Okay, so the winner is, let's see here, what's the pen? Okay, so if your name is Charo Nex, I hope I got that right. I'm sorry if I didn't. But hey, you just won this little drawing that I drew for you during the stream. So congratulations to Charo. Thank you to everybody that ended up coming out and hang out, and hope you guys did some drawing. Hope you guys found this helpful, and let's meet up next week, Thursday, same time, same channel. Okay? And yeah, have a great, wonderful, wonderful day. Okay, guys? So take care, and Charles, look out for me sending you a message. I'll try to find you on Facebook, and I'll get your address, and I'll send this little drawing out to you. Okay? So have a great day, everybody. Take care. I'll see you guys next week.